Tonight on News 5 Live, the deadly shooting of a minor on Rivera Street leads to emergency gang intervention. A Coast Guard officer is left partially paralyzed after being struck over the head during a brawl over the weekend. And a leaked copy of legal advice given to government prior to the definitive agreement being introduced to Cabinet. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
And now, the hottest match of the evening. Get ready for action. Here they come. Amazing. They're unstoppable. Unbeatable. They have them on the ropes. The heat rises to the top. 1, 2, and 3.
They're on fire. Chiladas.
Fire up the taste of Belize with the new Chiladas crunchy tortilla taco chips in its hot chili flavor. Fiery habanero brings the heat.
They're on fire. Chiladas.
From Snackers, done right, done here.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? babe, the price me too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babes, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Ouch.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
Belize's favorite Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 5. On Tuesday, July 4th, we go live on Channel 5 and streaming on Facebook and YouTube. But what better way to enjoy KTV than to be seated at the Bliss? Come out and win fabulous prizes and a chance to compete in our KTV challenges. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive or at 88th Store on Central American Boulevard in Belize City for only $3 for children and $5 for adults. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 5. It's going to be fun, exciting, and live only on Channel 5.
The Belize Tourism Board, Mars Production, and Pelican present the biggest show to hit the jewel we call Belize. It's the Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0. Join us on Saturday, July 29th and Sunday, July 30th at the Marion Jones Stadium with live performances by Morgan Heritage, the dancehall queen Spice,
Me's a girl, me no fight over man.
Busy Signal,
Turn up for them stairs.
Afrobeat sensation Rotimi, the biggest dancehall artist for 2023, Byron Messiah, alongside Skinny Fabulous, Jadelle, Earth and Owls, Mr. Warming Up Adam O, and Lyrical. It's the Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0, July 29th and 30th. Come savor the rhythm as we pair music with the best of Belizean cuisine. Sponsors are Belize Tourism Board, Pelican, Niche, Pop, ICB, Wine Smith, eCash, Dolphin Production, DigiWallet, Channel 5, Love FM, Creme Radio, Channel 7, Vibes Radio, Fiesta FM, and OYE Radio.
Bye. Why long time to try call you?
Meet Alex.
Where they go on, man?
Alex signed up for a DigiOne Premium Bundle. He's loving it. With his free mobile plan, Alex can talk and surf on the go as much as he wants. Topping up and buying data is a thing of the past. Alex now has DigiTV. He enjoys all his games and his favorite shows, no matter if he's on the go or at home. And Alex also enjoys the fastest, most reliable home internet speeds with his DigiNet service. He is living his best life. Alex bundled. Alex is saving $70 monthly compared to purchasing these services from the other providers. Be like Alex. Sign up for your DigiOne bundle package today. DigiOne. One bundle, no hassle, exceptional value.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, July 3rd. I am Sabrina Daly. We begin tonight's newscast with the shooting death of a 16-year-old minor that occurred on Rivera Street on Sunday. The minor reportedly went to commit a crime, but his would-be responded and shot him dead. Even as he took his last breath face down on the ground, his partner in crime would retrieve the gun and use that to commit another shooting at a short distance away, injuring an innocent man before escaping from the area. It's an area that has recently popped up in the news for a murder, a suspected case of arson, and now this homicide. News 5's Dwayne Moody finds out that it is the result of gang rivalry in the area.
16-year-old Japhet Stamp is dead after he was shot on Sunday morning on Rivera Street in Belize City. Although Stamp is a victim, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says that the minor carried a gun and was about to open fire on a group of men where a house had recently burnt down. Realizing what was about to take place, someone from that residence pulled out a firearm and fatally shot Stamp. Stamp ran a couple properties down, but collapsed and died on the pavement.
Sadly, yes, what investigation is showing is that the teen was going to carry out a shooting. And it so happened that those he was going after got the upper hand, and he was killed.
An investigation has revealed that Stamp, a resident of the Jane Usher Boulevard area, did not enter the Rivera Street area alone. Soon after he collapsed, his accomplice would run up to his body and retrieve the gun which was used to attack 43-year-old Wayne Matura on Forbes Road. Matura was walking out of his yard when he came face to face with the gunman. He ran for his life around his pickup truck before he was shot in the leg.
The youth that got shot in the back there, his mom was surprised that he got shot. My cousin, he was right here. He had his crab that he was going to catch yesterday, and he had coconut oil to make yesterday. But because of he just coming from right out his yard, he never even reached to the street. And the guy just attacked him for no apparent reason.
I understand that the gunman chased him.
Yes, wrong. His vehicle, he was running for his life. No, he got shot in his foot as a hard-working man with a family. No, he is down. He employs people. He's not in no gang whatsoever. But because of society and the surrounding and things that are happening, it has a ripple effect. Most parents are standing down and not saying anything. Everybody in this neighborhood knows everybody.
The intention clearly was to kill that individual. Luckily, the gun snapped, and so the individual was not killed. But it goes to show the nature and the viciousness of these young people. And as a department, we're addressing that. Let me say that the guy, Matura, who was shot, he's not a member. He was innocently targeted. So it seems like after they were not able to get the person that they wanted, they just came into this yard and shoot somebody, trying to send a statement. Thank God it did not materialize the way they wanted to. The young man is in hospital. He's recovering, and we hope for a speedy and full recovery for him.
18-year-old Trevor Thompson was killed on Forbes Road, not far from Rivera Street, almost a month ago. A few days later, 10 persons were left homeless after a fire was set at a home on Rivera Street. Now there has been another killing. Compal Chester Williams says that the violence in the area is due to gang rivalry.
While we're seeing that many of the old heads who we have been targeting as gang members are holding it down, per se, we do have a generation of some vicious youths, and these youths are the problem for us now. It is difficult even for the older heads to be able to control them because they want to do their own thing. And when they do get a hold of firearm, then they make it even worse. It's a gang issue. There are two rivaling groups in the area, and apparently one group came after the other, and like I said before, the other one saw them and went on the offensive, and then the shooting happened. But it's a gang issue.
One person is in police custody following the shooting of Matura. But what happens in the case of the shooting death of 16-year-old Stamp? Is the case being treated as a murder or self-defense?
The suspect is in custody, and we're hoping that hopefully by today or tomorrow we should be able to lay charges against the person who is responsible for the shooting over the weekend. It could be considered self-defense if those persons would come forward and give their account to the police. But we understand the world we live in. They may not want to do that. And so we're waiting to see if that is going to happen. If they don't give their account of what transpired, then we will proceed with murder charges as we normally do.
And if their gun, if it was self-defense but their gun was unlicensed, what happens then?
The law do have a provision for that if you act in self-defense with an unlicensed firearm, the DPP have the authority in law for you not to be charged for unlicensed firearm.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
This afternoon, Compal Chester Williams, along with members of the Leadership Intervention Unit, was out in the Rivera Street area speaking with residents, as well as the Matura family. Tension has been building in the area, and the commissioner says that there will be increased police presence.
The area is becoming of concern to us, and so we are here to speak with the people to get their feedback, and as well as to tell them what are some of the plans we have in place to be able to address their security concerns. We want the people to know that their concerns is not going unnoticed, and that as a department working in tandem with LIU, we will do what needs to be done to address the issue. We had put in place a number of mechanisms in this area to make sure that crime is kept under control. But recently, the area has came back on the radar. We were more focused in other areas, but we have not forgotten or neglected the area because we do have a presence at the corner of Crawl Road and Rivera Street. But again, you know that the criminals tend to work around the police. And so what we'll do now, I had spoken to the security company, and we're going to install more surveillance camera in the area. Also, we have to look at making sure that the police officers who are working within the area do not just stay under a boot, but that they come out and patrol, move around the area, and do more stop and search. I've said to the GI3 that we need to go hard at those persons who continue to make our job more difficult. While yes, the LIU is there, and many may sit and say that even with LIU, crime is still being committed. We don't expect that through the effort of the police department and LIU, we will stop crime. We do not expect that. We'll be naive to think so. But at the same time, it is important to know that with the work that we are doing, it should reduce crime, and it is reducing crime. And so for those who may use this to say that LIU is not working, we can still look at the record to see that crime, particularly murders or violent crime, are on a downward trend. Parenting is a component. It cannot be that people will expect that the police and LIU will tell parents how to raise their children. We do expect that parents are going to be more accountable and are going to hold their children more accountable when they do wrong.
Altercation at the Elton Gillett Park in Borrelboom last Friday night has left a Coast Guard officer unconscious and partially paralyzed, and several persons in police detention. The story has two main versions, one that accuses the Coast Guard officer, Daniel Sabido, of being the attacker, and another that has him as a peacemaker who tried to part a fight when he came under attack and was struck in the head with a glass bottle. The incident happened during an event that was being held at the park, and we have the chairman of the village, as well as the Coast Guard, the police, and a relative of Sabido giving their respective positions on the matter. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
There are at least two sides to an incident that has left Coast Guard officer Daniel Sabido with a fractured skull and partially paralyzed. On Friday night, Sabido was at an event at the Elton Gillett Park in Borrelboom village when a fight broke out involving him and others.
He was in an altercation with other members of the village, and he got into a fight and was hit in the head. He was unconscious. He was taken to KHMH and he underwent surgery. I spoke to him just before he went into surgery. I was out of the country, so we did a video chat. He was able to recognize who I was, He was able to speak a little bit. A portion of his body, his left side of his body was paralyzed before surgery. We understand now that he came out of surgery and that he's recovering very quick.
What led to the incident that has left Sabido seriously wounded is unclear, except that there was a big fight and that he was in it. One story puts the blame squarely on him, while another says he was the peacemaker who came under attack. Whatever the real story is, Assistant Commissioner of Police Gilberto Romero says they will know when the investigation is complete.
Information is that Daniel Sabido was at the park at Burrelboom when there was a fight in the area, and as a result he received injuries to the head. Someone hit him in the head with a baseball bat and a pint bottle. We have several persons in custody, and an investigation is being carried out to determine what charges will be levied on these persons. This is based on interviews and witness statements that have been recorded. The victim is in a stable condition at the KHMH, and as soon as this investigation is complete, then the charges will be levied.
As for the safety of Burrelboom residents, Chairman Anselm Gillett met with Commissioner of Police Chester Williams today, and he told us afterwards that he has made a few requests to deter any retaliation, particularly because there was a previous incident just a few weeks earlier.
Like 2 weeks before, there was an incident out there. Basically the same players were involved, but this second time another crowd came out, and they waited until the police dispersed, and then they made their attack onto whoever they wanted to attack. We have requested certain assistance from the Commissioner. The Ladyville Police have been very good with us in Burrelboom in terms of response time and stuff like that. So we have a good relationship with the police. We just need for them to look into other matters concerning this scenario. No?
Can you say what specific requests you've made as the chairman of the village?
Well, Burrelboom is growing. There's another community attached along with Fresh Pan. So we have asked that more patrols in the village, dealing with the loitering, dealing with the drinking in public, stuff like that. Now, things that we see stem to other issues. So basically just asking a little bit more power within Burrelboom because it's getting bigger.
I assured him, because they were planning to stop the tournament, and I said to him, don't stop the tournament. If you stop the tournament, then you are giving in to the criminals. We want the tournament to continue because the tournament is geared at capturing or providing an outlet for those young people within the area who want to find something positive to do. So we cannot allow that to stop for the likes of any criminals who want to achieve certain things. And we are going to make sure we provide the necessary security to make sure the tournament continues. Likewise, I have also said to them that the police will do what needs to be done to investigate the matter properly.
While Sabido recovers and the police investigate the incident, Rear Admiral Elton Bennett, commander of the Belize Coast Guard, says all they are looking forward to is for the return of their very capable training instructor and boatswain.
He's our chief boatswain mate that looks after the vessels in terms of keeping them safe and seaworthy. So somebody that we look forward to getting him recovered and back on duty.
Sabido's family has declined comment. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Coming up, validity of Portico's definitive agreement was questioned in legal opinion. Find out the details of these stories when we come back.
The history of Belize malaria fight has come a long way.
If you look at as far back as maybe the 70s, 80s and 90s, you were looking at peak transmission times for malaria.
For example, I could recall times when I was in Orange Walk. It was very tedious. We would go out into the field, like from 6 in the morning, and visiting houses from village to village, and we would come back like at 10 at night and still haven't visited all the people we needed to treat for that day. It was so prevalent in that time.
At the time, the program was more vertical and it was more of a malaria program.
We had our own budget, we had our own staff. We would manage a program from central level. That in itself gave the advantages of being able to maximize the effectiveness and the efficiency of the human resources, whereby you would ensure that they are working just on malaria.
Decentralization happened early 2000s, and what that entailed was giving authority to the various regional management teams that were put in place.
At that time, we faced some challenges in the sense that decentralizing the staff, then that means to say that supervision and the administration would fall under the regional management team, which we had some challenges there as to the skills of the management. What we did immediately is strengthen the skills of the new staff and those staff that we knew needed to improve their skills. So we had some training, very specific and continuous training. We ensured that all districts had the standard operating procedures, training manuals, operational manuals. That was key. And we would ensure that the surveillance would still be done as how it should be done, that the diagnosis and the treatment would still remain timely. At the headquarters, we continued providing that support, that technical support, that advice. We ensured the resources were there at the regional level for them to continue executing the strategies for malaria.
From my years of working in the program, malaria evolved from 1,000 plus cases early 2000 to 0 cases at present.
As the cases started reducing, we started working with more confidence in terms of this is actually achievable in terms of our goal of elimination. Over recent years, we've had the introduction of new tools locally. Insecticide-treated bed nets have been more affordable. So we introduced those, I would say maybe around 2009, 2010. And then we introduced a rapid diagnostic tests, which initially was quite expensive, and now it's more affordable in the region. So there was a reorientation of the health services towards moving from malaria control program. That started somewhere, I would say maybe around 2013, 2014. As you move towards elimination and you want to do things like risk stratification, micro-planning and things like that, these are things that you need to bring your people up to standard, and that's where the reorientation process takes place. So we developed the first strategic plan for malaria elimination in 2018. At the ministry level, we developed the strategic and operational plans. At the district level, they take the national operational plans and devise their own specific operational plans. And the key partners at their level that they're working with is multiple partners.
We've trained doctors, nurses, administrators, PCAs, every aspect, every level of care, so that we all remember malaria and we remember to test for it.
Ready or not, this is possibly the greatest fight in semi-pro basketball history, scheduled for 5 brutal rounds. Let's get it on! Hurricanes with a vicious right hook to the jaw of the Tiger Sharks in Game 1. Down but not out, Sharks answers with a massive left jab to lay out the Hurricanes in round 2. Here comes the Hurricanes with a ferocious power shot to the body of the Tiger Sharks. In round 3, back and forth they go. Who will win the decisive Game 4?
They're playing basketball.
This Friday night, July 7 at Belize Civic Center, starting at 9 p.m., is going to be the battle between the 3-time champion San Pedro Tiger Sharks and the 2-time champ Belize Hurricanes in an all-out war for Game 4.
War in the East.
This game will be the biggest of the season. Two storied franchises with multiple championships like the Celtics and the Lakers. It's the San Pedro Tiger Sharks, led by Francis Naitiarana, Kyle Stewart, Jihad Wright, John Kelly, going up against the Belize Hurricanes, who will answer with Clancy Coupe Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba Smith Jr., Alex the Legend Carcomo, Jamil Harrison, Chris Frazier. Will the Hurricanes close them out and win their third championship? Or will the Hurricanes be eaten alive by the Tiger Sharks, forcing a decisive Game 5? Bring out the entire family this Friday night, June 7th. Belize Civic Center, 9 p.m. sharp. Canes versus Tiger Sharks. Lots of giveaways, Tiger Sharks style. After party at Thursday. Sponsors Maya Island Air, Tough Enough Tours, West Track, Sandy Point Resorts, Joseph and Taylor.
Tiger Sharks with a confident win again.
The Briceño administration has restated its position on the scandalous definitive agreement, following the leak of another confidential paper that was presented back in April. Legal advice on the validity of the definitive agreement was in fact sought by the government of Belize, and despite the professional opinion of renowned advocate Dr. Ben Duratowicz, the controversial agreement was still introduced to cabinet a few weeks later. Dr. Duratowicz is a preeminent legal mind who represents Belize in the territorial dispute with Guatemala that is before the ICJ. In a release issued today, government stated, quote, "This decision was reached after an informed discussion in cabinet and after receiving legal advice from multiple attorneys of international repute. At the same time, appreciating the credibility of the key strategic stakeholders, Royal Caribbean Group and Boscalis, Cabinet further determined that the government should proceed to meet with these parties with a view to negotiate or develop a new arrangement in an open and transparent manner that would serve the best interests of the people of Belize," end quote. News 5's Isani Cayetano has the following story.
The validity of the contract signed by the government of Belize and Portico Enterprises Limited under the outgoing Barrow administration in October 2020 has been called to question. This is so because of the dubious circumstances under which the definitive agreement came into existence. We've established a brief timeline to look at how the controversial document saw the light of day, to inquire about its legality, and to bring into focus government's role in the tangled mess that has been woven since we asked Prime Minister John Briceño about the agreement in early March. I'd like to get your weigh in on what seems to be a war of words between the two cruise port developers. There's a back and forth between Portico and State Bank Enterprises over the so-called definitive agreement that has been given to Portico. Your government has not officially gone on record to comment on this matter.
Well, and it's for an obvious reason. There are two private entities throwing words at one another, and that's between them. We as a government, we're here to be able to govern and to ensure that whatever investment or whatever approvals that were made by the government of Belize can be carried out. If the definitive agreement, and I have not seen it, was signed by the minister responsible, then obviously it is going to be binding because it's the government of Belize that signed it. But I will not get into the back and forth between the two entities. That's amongst them.
But government did get involved. In fact, it is reported that PM Briceño was the one who initially took the paper to cabinet several weeks later, after apprising himself of the details. On the other hand, did he seek sound legal advice on the legitimacy of the agreement prior to introducing it to cabinet?
We also hear that Mr. Douglas Mendes, who by the way was on the other side against me in the ecological matter, but who is a very good attorney, was also asked by the current administration to give an opinion saying that the agreement was binding. And again, the informal reports, the unofficial reports are that he too refused, which would not surprise me in the least either, because again, he's a tier one lawyer, a really top drawer advocate, and so in the circumstances, because even a first year law student looking at that agreement would have concluded that it was invalid. Of course, he and the Attorney General, if they were asked to opine, I'm positive would have come to the same position that no, it is not valid. So again, there are all these questions that I think the Prime Minister has to answer.
As it turns out, the government of Belize was properly advised by Ben Duratowicz, a widely recognized and outstanding advocate who serves as counsel before international courts and tribunals in disputes between states, disputes between foreign investors and states, as well as disputes between commercial parties. Duratowicz turned in this 51-page legal opinion to the Brissenier administration on April 20th, 2023, several weeks before Portico's definitive agreement was presented to Cabinet. In his personal view, based on the judicial outcomes of several matters, including the British Caribbean Bank and the Belize International Services Limited, Duratowicz wrote, quote, "Once it has reached the conclusion that a minister has signed a contract that he had no authority to conclude and the content of which is unlawful, it is incumbent on the government to take action to remedy the situation. This is both because the government should not tolerate a contract it knows to be unlawful, and because, if it did, it may ultimately be held to have ratified the contract so far as any question of authority of the minister was concerned." End quote. Elsewhere in the document, Duratowicz wrote, quote, "If the government wishes to proceed with the project, the logical thing to do would be to inform Portico of the invalidity and unenforceability of the agreement and seek to agree with a fresh contract that would be signed by a minister within the scope of that minister's authority, in compliance with the statutory requirements included under the Finance and Audit Reform Act, if the terms of any contract attracted its application. Recognize that the existing agreement is invalid and unenforceable. Establish new contractual terms of the project that are not contrary to the separation of powers as enshrined in the Constitution." End quote. The bold act of presenting the flawed definitive agreement to Cabinet flew in the face of sound advice by a venerable legal mind who is also in Belize's international team of lawyers in the territorial dispute that is before the International Court of Justice. After a firestorm of protest on June 16th, PM Brissenier famously tore up the definitive agreement.
We understand he's saying, well, okay, because Cabinet did not approve the agreement in the form in which he took it, well, they will seek to renegotiate now and take to the House something else that would see the agreement shorn of all these outrageous terms and conditions. That remains to be seen. I have my doubts as to whether the administration will succeed with that. There has been so much mud smeared all over this agreement and the circumstances surrounding it that I do not see how the government will succeed in persuading the Belizean people that even a scaled down version of that agreement ought in fact now to be legislated.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
The current redistricting exercise is not without its share of controversy. A redivision task force reportedly prepared by several members of that working group, including Chairperson and Chief Elections Officer Josephine Tamai and Senator Colette Montejo, has also been leaked to the media. In the situational analysis presented in the document, it establishes the fact that Belize's population grew by a little over 50% between 2005 and 2022. Of the 441,471 persons, Belize District has recorded the largest population growth. Conversely, Toledo District has recorded the smallest. Electoral divisions recording notable increases in the number of registered electors included Belize Rural Central, Belize Rural South, Belmopan, and Cayo North. But is Belize Rural South, the constituency led by PUP Area Representative Andre Perez, being redrawn? That's what we asked him earlier today.
I can tell you that the splitting up and understanding that the demographics of Belize district has changed. Yes, I am the third largest, I represent the third largest constituency, but there are many studies out there that are showing that while the act shows that we need to be dividing it evenly as it relates to population, you got to look at the demographics. You got to look at the communities. You can't be splitting just like that. For example, Ambergiski, it's a unique situation. I'm not saying because like people like tell you, oh, you're a Republic or not. No, it's just the way how we work there. We're so concentrated. It's a tiny town, very concentrated, 25,000 people living in one area, and they're constantly moving around. There's nobody living in one specific place. This is a place that people move around. And so is Kikaka. Kikaka is a very unique community. We are inherently linked together. So as a representative that I work with them, everything that I do as an area rep is directly related to both islands. There's nothing that says it's only San Pedro or Kikaka. So I'm saying that whatever happens, it's not about my opinion, it's not about the population. It's about geographically how do you cut this up.
According to Area Representative Andrea Perez, the proposal being put forward by the Redivision Task Force is not etched in stone, and Belize Rural South can very well remain untouched during the redistricting process.
Whether it has to happen by law, I have no choice, but I am quite fine by representing this area that is very much concentrated, and the relationship I have with them. Dividing my job as a minister and as an area rep, I do it very well. It's very much in tune. This weekend I was in Kikaka. We had a clinic there, the mobile clinic, health clinic. So I enjoy it, and I tell my people, listen, let's not be listening to that noise out there. Let's keep on working, and yours truly as your area rep will continue to work with you all until the very last end. If any changes occurred as per law, then I will have to oblige. But it's not for me to say, oh, they're calling out there, they're saying out there loudly that Kikaka will disappear, going into somewhere else. I can choose to be that irresponsible area to say, you know what, well, bye-bye, start to do no one thing. We cannot. We have to do the work with them, continue to do the work, because it's not in stone. It could be very well that Belize Rural South can stay intact.
After the break, child knocked down and killed going home from church. We'll hear more about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, proudly celebrates its 120th anniversary of service and achievement in the Americas. PAHO began operating in Belize in the early 1950s. PAHO committed to providing technical cooperation to strengthen the capacity of Belize's health sector and improve the health of the people of Belize. The Malaria Eradication Program, which began in 1974, is one of the great success stories of PAHO's collaboration with the government of Belize. Since December 2018, Belize has reported 0 cases of malaria, placing the country well on track toward malaria elimination. For other vector-borne diseases like dengue, chikungunya, and Zika, PAHO led public health responses in Belize, which included surveillance, prevention and control, and the mobilization of resources. The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 presented the greatest global public health challenge in recent history. In Belize, PAHO supported the Ministry of Health and Wellness by training lab personnel to diagnose SARS-CoV-2, evaluating isolation and long-term facilities, providing technical guidance for decentralized testing, and supporting procurement of COVID-19 test kits, medical and laboratory equipment and supplies, PPE, and IT communication equipment and materials. PAHO facilitated the acquisition of COVID-19 vaccines through COVAX and supported the COVID-19 vaccination rollout, contributing to 64.62% of the target population being fully vaccinated by December 30th, 2021. PAHO has built national capacity through specialized training to address non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, cancer and diabetes, which have been leading causes of death in Belize. With PAHO's support, all public hospitals have been certified as baby-friendly hospitals, as have 3 public polyclinics. The Smart Hospitals Initiatives was launched in Belize in 2016 and to date has retrofitted 5 health facilities countrywide. In collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, PAHO is providing safer, greener, climate-resistant health facilities to deliver care in disasters, generate operational savings, and reduce disaster losses. The launch of the National One Health platform in October 2022 will foster a coordinated, multi-sectorial collaboration to address the full spectrum of disease control, from prevention to detection, preparedness, response, and management. PAHO Belize will continue its decades-long commitment to the government and people of Belize in achieving the highest standard of health and well-being for all persons through universal access to healthcare, universal health coverage, resilient health systems, and quality health services throughout the life course.
From generation to generation, Crystal Water is there every step of the way. Taste you can trust.
Ready or not, this is possibly the greatest fight in semi-pro basketball history. Scheduled for 5 brutal rounds. Let's get it on. Hurricanes with a vicious right hook to the jaw of the Tiger Sharks in game 1. Down but not out. Sharks answers with a massive left jab to lay out the Hurricanes in round 2. Here comes the Hurricanes with a ferocious power shot to the body of the Tiger Sharks. In round 3, back and forth they go. Who will win the decisive game 4?
They're playing basketball.
This Friday night, July 7th at Belize Civic Center, starting at 9 p.m., is gonna be the battle between the 3-time champion San Pedro Tiger Sharks and the 2-time champ Belize Hurricanes in an all-out war for Game 4.
War in the East.
This game will be the biggest of the season. 2 storied franchises with multiple championships like the Celtics and the Lakers. It's the San Pedro Tiger Sharks, led by Francis Naitiarana, Kyle Stewart, Jihad Wright, John Kelly, going up against the Belize Hurricanes, who will answer with Clancy Coupe Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba-Smith Jr., Alex the Legend Carcomo, Jamel Harris, and Chris Frazier. Will the Hurricanes close them out and win their 3rd championship? Or will the Hurricanes be eaten alive by the Tiger Sharks, forcing a decisive Game 5? Bring out the entire family this Friday night, June 7th. Belize Civic Center, 9 p.m. sharp. Canes versus Tiger Sharks. Lots of giveaways, Tiger Shark style. After party at Thursday. Sponsors Maya Island Air, Tough Enough Tours, West Track, Sandy Point Resorts, Joseph and Taylor.
Tiger Sharks with a confident win again.
Your unwavering trust in RFNG Insurance is the reason we are one of the leading insurance companies in Belize. The conversations and connections we share are part of why our network of dedicated professionals works tirelessly for you. RFNG Insurance is inviting you to visit us or an agent near you on July 7, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for our Customer Appreciation Day. Get ready for a day filled with exciting prizes and delightful surprises. Remember, it pays to get it right with RFNG Insurance. a Row Group company.
When it comes to cleaning and hygiene, Karcher makes a difference. Available at Benny's, quality and savings.
Belize's favorite Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV The Remix Season 5. On Tuesday, July 4th, we go live on Channel 5 and streaming on Facebook and YouTube. But what better way to enjoy KTV than to be seated at the Bliss? Come out and win fabulous prizes and a chance to compete in our KTV challenges. Tickets are available at Channel 5 on Coney Drive or at 88th Store on Central American Boulevard in Belize City for only $3 for children and $5 for adults. The show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 5. It's going to be fun, exciting, and live only on Channel 5.
A little boy was knocked down and killed in Corozal town shortly after midday on Sunday. It happened just after the 7-year-old and his family had left church and were riding their bicycles on 3rd Street heading home. Today, Asuseli Chan told News 5 via phone that her son, Juan Osorio, was riding his bicycle along with 4 of her other children across a section of the street that has stoplights.
I was just coming out from church, and then I decided to turn back because I see the Chinese was closing up. I see they have discount, and I turned back. But my fault was I don't see him to pass the street, and there when my son shouts, "Mom, Mom, my brother one died." I just get freeze. I just come out. I see my son. The bike was down of the car, and the man who crashed him take off out the bike from down of the car. And he says, "I don't have the fault and don't have the fault." And he passed the stop. He didn't wait for my kids to cross the street. And they have 2 stop signs that you have to stop. Mandatory, the stop, you have to stop. My 4 other kids were riding bike too, not just him. Was 4 of them were riding bike. He knows to ride bike. From 4 years, I teach him to ride bike. He was a lovely boy. He was a smart boy. He was everything for me. And now I will not see him again.
Today, Assistant Commissioner of Police Alberto Romero shared the details of the accident with the media. The accident happened shortly after midday on Sunday. The impact was so severe that the little boy died before he reached the hospital. Romero said that the driver of the vehicle is detained and that upon the completion of the investigation, the charges will be laid against him. Those charges, he said, will likely be for traffic-related offenses.
12:32 p.m., police responded to a report of a traffic accident at 3rd Street, Corozal town. Upon the arrival, they saw the lifeless body of Juan Osorio, a 7-year-old. Information is that he was riding his bicycle when he was knocked down by a motor vehicle, at the time being driven by Robert Saldiva. The child was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Robert Saldiva is in custody, awaiting charges at this time.
A chopping incident in Bella Vista on Saturday has left Edgar Lorenzama with a severed arm after he was viciously attacked by an individual with whom he had an altercation in the village. According to Assistant Commissioner of Police Alberto Romero, police are looking for Giovanni Beltran in relation to the incident.
On Saturday, 1st day of July 2023, police responded to a chopping incident at Bella Vista. Upon the arrival, they saw Edgar Lorenzama with a chop wound to the hand, which was amputated. Information is that he got into a fight with one Giovanni Beltran, who chopped into the hand. We are presently seeking Giovanni Beltran at this time for this incident.
19-year-old Mark Godoy has been remanded to the Belize Central Prison after he appeared unrepresented in the lower courts this morning. The Santa Barbara Street resident was busted on Saturday in possession of an unlicensed firearm and 10 live rounds of ammunition. He was taken before Senior Magistrate Baha Showman, where he was read charges of kept firearm without a gun license and 1 count of kept ammunitions without being granted a gun license by the Commissioner of Police. Godoy, an employee of La Popular Bakery, was nabbed by police on July 1st. He pleaded not guilty to both charges. However, due to the nature of the offenses, he was denied bail and placed on pretrial detention until August 17, 2023. When we return, Taiwan offers opportunities to build capacity of the Belize Coast Guard.
Tour guides, your renewal season is coming up. Please be advised that all tour guide license expires on July 31st, 2023. BTB will start accepting applications for renewal starting May 1st, 2023. Tour guides, we're asking you to apply early in order to have a new and valid license before the current one expires. To submit via email, you'll need a clear scan of each document in PDF format and properly named and labeled. Send your application with all supporting documents to tourguide@belizetourismboard.org and include your full name and your tour guide license number in the subject line of the email. Remember to fill out your applications correctly, as BTB will no longer be accepting incomplete applications. Contact our licensing officers at 227-2420 and press 1 if you have any questions or concerns.
It seems like every other day, we hear of a family member or friend being diagnosed with a serious illness such as cancer, heart attack, kidney failure, or stroke. When these illnesses strike, you want to focus on recovery and your overall well-being. At RFNG Life Insurance, we offer critical illness insurance to help with medical expenses when diagnosed with such critical illnesses, providing security to access quality healthcare facilities and to ease the worry about finances. In case you are diagnosed with a life-threatening illness that is covered by the policy, critical illness insurance pays you a lump sum amount to help you obtain access to quality treatment and medication. Having critical illness insurance provides the financial support that will bring you and your family the security and peace of mind necessary to manage these illnesses. The possibility of being diagnosed can be worrying, but by having a critical illness plan, you could have funds to assist with expenses such as medications, hospital deductibles, childcare, household expenses, and so much more. The right time to plan for the unexpected is when you're healthy. For more information, visit our office today to speak with one of our experienced agents about critical illness insurance. Your health and wellness is what matters most. Take care of it.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to join us at the 2nd Annual Belize Investment Summit from August 30th to September 1st, 2023 at the Grand Caribe Resort on Ambergers Key. Belize, the land of endless potential, with a vibrant people and economy and a wealth of natural resources, is the region's premier investment hub, offering a range of opportunities across sectors including the blue, green, and orange economies. The Belize Investment Summit 2023 is your chance to explore these opportunities and connect with potential partners, investors, financiers, and stakeholders from across the globe. This 3-day summit will offer networking opportunities, site visits, one-on-one meetings, roundtable discussions, business pitches, an expo, and keynote presentations from government officials and industry leaders. Gain insight into Belize's investment climate and the incentives that make our country the destination for investment. Register now for the Belize Investment Summit 2023 and discover a world of opportunities. Be a believer. Invest in Belize. Thrive in Belize.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Welcome to Design Depot. All in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome,
Oran Windows.
Welcome,
Tiles from around the world.
Welcome,
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coatings. Visit us today at Mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot. All in one place.
A new Attorney General was administered the oath of office this morning in Belmopan before Governor General Dame Froila Salam. Attorney Anthony Sylvester's appointment as Chief Legal Officer took effect on July 1st, succeeding Senior Counsel Magali Marin-Young, who held the post for just over 2 years. Prime Minister John Briceño was on hand for the brief swearing-in ceremony and congratulated the new Attorney General. In turn, AG Sylvester thanked PM Briceño and the Cabinet for giving him the opportunity to serve the people and the government of Belize in that capacity. The Caribbean Community was established in 1973 upon the signing of the Treaty of Chaguaramas in Trinidad. The signatories aim to create a common space for territories within the region to work towards economic integration. 50 years later, CARICOM is taking stock of its achievements over that time. Today's Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett, spoke of the significance of CARICOM 50 years later.
The 4 pillars which define our core objectives: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security cooperation are central to our regional and national development policies. Our active cadre of community institutions continuously focus on priorities such as education and human resource development, health, agriculture and food security, disaster management and response, climate change, and crime and security. We are an influential voice in international fora on critical matters, and our leaders have played important roles in addressing critical issues such as the dismantling of apartheid. Today, we have a strong voice in the growing global debate on reparations for slavery and native genocide, and discussions on climate injustice and responsibility for damage caused by climate change. As a region, we number among our diverse accomplishments the establishment of the Caribbean Development Bank, the Caribbean Court of Justice, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, the Caribbean Examinations Council, the Pan-Caribbean Partnership Against HIV/AIDS, and the Caribbean Public Health Agency.
Outgoing CARICOM Chair, Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davis, said there have been remarkable strides made over the past 50 years that now puts CARICOM on steady footing to advance towards the next 50 years. He spoke of that focus that CARICOM leaders put on addressing crime and crime-related activity in the region. Combating the illegal trade of weapons is one of the main aspects that fall under that issue.
It has been an eventful and fruitful 6 months. Over this period, we have made headway on a number of priority areas. Chief among them, the situation in Haiti, climate change, global financial architecture, food security, and the ongoing crime epidemics in our nations. A significant milestone of my term was the declaration of crime as a public health issue at the Regional Symposium to Address Crime and Violence. I thank the Honorable Keith Rowley and the Government of Trinidad and Tobago for hosting the summit on this critical issue. Crime has become an epidemic in many of our nations, impeding our growth and hampering the happiness and well-being of our people. In our declaration, we not only recognize the urgency and systemic nature of crime in our nations, but also lay the groundwork for the necessary frameworks to build cross-border cooperation, enhance capacity, and enact reforms to ensure the safety and security of our peoples. At this very meeting, we banded together to declare a war on guns. As a region, we proclaim our intention to combat the illegal trade of weapons and particularly to call on the United States of America, the source of the overwhelming majority of illegal firearms in our region, to join us in urgent action to curb this epidemic.
The Minister of National Defense and Border Security, along with CEO Dario Tapia and Commandant of the Belize Coast Guard Elton Bennett, returned over the weekend from a visit to Taiwan. They were joined by Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Christopher Koi, and a representative from Kabay. Among the many meetings was with the Ocean Affairs Council in Taiwan, which is the governing body of the Taiwanese Coast Guard. The focus was defense engagement and looked at the range of what was available for Belize in terms of acquisition of supplies and equipment, as well as training and specializations in different fields. Commandant Bennett says that there were 2 areas of interest for the Coast Guard.
We're looking at opportunities for shipbuilding, and Taiwan offered that to us. So we had the opportunity to look at 2 shipyards, one in particular that we are very, very interested in. So we had the opportunity to look at what technologies are available on the platform and look at its suitability for our missions. And so we'll be continuing that discussion with that shipyard in Taiwan as a highly likely candidate to construct patrol boats for the Belize Coast Guard in the very near future.
And the second
one, we had the opportunity to look at UAVs, unmanned air vehicles, which is something that the Belize Coast Guard is also pursuing. As a matter of fact, we're looking at a very close timeline. We're looking at by the end of this year, the Belize Coast Guard should have acquired at least 2 unmanned air vehicles for operational purposes in our marine spaces. And then next year, we're pre-approved as well funds to purchase 2 additional UAVs. So it's a program that starts now. So we had the opportunity to look at what's available in Taiwan, look at the different technology and to see its suitability again for our operational purposes. You have to appreciate that our needs are very different from the terrestrial needs in terms of it being marine grade and for maritime surveillance purposes. So we're very excited about what we saw in Taiwan as well, and we will continue those discussions. As a matter of fact, tonight I have a meeting with one of the companies to further those discussions. So very, very productive. From a technical perspective, I think it was a very productive session. So I know that the minister had opportunities to speak with his opposite number in Taiwan. Some classified, but some that I'm sure will be made available to the public, the different engagements that we had.
In September of last year, a memorandum of understanding was signed with the Taiwanese Oceans Affairs Council at the Belize Coast Guard headquarters. This visit furthered those discussions that looked at marine science matters to expertise in marine law enforcement and combating narco-trafficking at sea. As it currently stands, there are several Coast Guard personnel studying in Taiwan. Coast Guard Commandant Elton Bennett says that training opportunities will help to build the capacity of the Coast Guard and other maritime-focused agencies.
4 Coast Guard officers in Taiwan on long-term courses. We're looking at 5 years, some of these programs. We have one senior officer there as well, Lieutenant Commander Alma Pinello, who's there for a year and a half. She returns in August. But this visit really offers more than those 2 programs that we are currently benefiting from. The Ocean Affairs Council offers a broad area in terms of marine science and research, a lot of conservation, education. The Belize Coast Guard is very interested in. But what's very important here is that what the Ocean Affairs Council in Taiwan has to offer is broader than just the Belize Coast Guard. So in turn, we'll be able to offer some of these opportunities to the different maritime sector in Belize, the Port Authority, the Fisheries Department, etc. All of those maritime-focused agencies will be able to benefit through this MOU and tap into that very, very crucial agency or ministry that exists in Taiwan.
Get your tickets for KTV The Remix Season 5.
A mosquito breeding site can be as big as a barrel or as small as this container. This is why it is very important to eliminate mosquito breeding sites in and around the home. Wash and change the water in containers at least every 7 days. If you have water barrels, remember to keep them well covered and wash with soap at least every 7 days. If you live in an area where there are many mosquitoes, protect doors and windows with mosquito nets. Turn containers that can accumulate water upside down and eliminate those that cannot be used. Keep trash bins well covered and free from water. Clean gutters and drains to avoid accumulating garbage and water. Share this information with your neighbors so that the entire community works to eliminate breeding sites and prevent dengue. Remember, check, wash, cover, flip, and eliminate.
Every year, World Environment Day is celebrated on June 5, and the Department of the Environment, within the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management, joins the nation of Belize and other United Nations member countries in worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment, with this year's theme being to beat plastic pollution. We have seen the effects of climate change, now exacerbated by the effects of plastic pollution, primarily from single-use plastics. The Ministry, through the auspices of the Department of the Environment, has enacted the pollution from plastics regulation in 2020, noting that single-use plastics is of high environmental concern. This regulation sought to curb the environmental impacts associated with single-use plastics and to better promote green alternatives, which resulted in the development of national standards for biodegradable products.
The government of Belize, through the Department of Environment, has been controlling and enforcing these regulations to ensure that we protect Belize from the threats of plastic pollution. In so doing, nationwide market surveillance and product sampling has been conducted, resulting in enforcement actions which includes sale prohibition and confiscation of single-use plastics and styrofoam. The detrimental environmental impacts of single-use plastics are everyone's concern. The government calls upon all businesses, industries, civil societies, NGOs, and you, the citizens of Belize, to have civic pride and to help in the fight against plastic pollution and to further contribute to the national efforts in transitioning to a circular economy. Together, we can beat plastic pollution. Happy World Environment Day.
My Social Security. Your direct online access to all your Social Security information. 360 view of all your Social Security information. Registration services, benefits, contributions, and employer services at your fingertips. Enjoy all the new features with your My Social Security account. Register with SSB. Submission of benefit claims. Submission of contribution statements. View contribution record. Enjoy all your My Social Security feature at ssbportal.org.bz. Social Security at your fingertips.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
They have not enlisted new seamen in 4 years. But this year, the Belize Coast Guard is looking for 60 men and women to join the ranks of the Naval Military Unit. Application is open until July 14th, where Belizeans can go online and sign up to be part of the 2023 recruits for the Belize Coast Guard. While the application asks that you have a minimum of a high school diploma, physically in good shape, and can swim, Commandant Elton Bennett says that they are also looking for applicants who are tech savvy because the Coast Guard is expanding its functions.
We are recruiting at this time. We're looking for Belizeans between the ages of 18 and 26, high school level education. You'll be required to come and sit the recruiting exam, which is an academic exam but also a physical exam that includes a swimming test. So you must be able to swim, you must be a Belizean national, a clean police record, and willing to serve your country. So you apply online. The information is there. The deadline for application is the 14th of July. Once we receive those applications, we'll be doing screening. This is a very important part of keeping the organization integrity intact by doing these vetting from the early stages. So we'll be screening and then inviting you to come and sit the recruiting drive here. And then hopefully, if you make it, you form up on the 2nd of September. With the intent of going through recruit training, graduating the 28th of November, and then joining the organization as a seaman. The minimum requirement is a high school diploma. Of course, we have people with associate's degree, have people with bachelor's degree coming at that level. So we're looking at obviously people who are physically fit, but we're also looking for talent in all aspects of Coast Guard functions. We're looking for people that are technically capable of fitting into the Coast Guard modernization strategy, which, as I mentioned earlier on, we're looking at operating unmanned air vehicles. So we're looking at people that are technically capable of moving the organization forward in those technical areas. We're looking at people who can do a broad range of duties, from marines, research, and technology in the maritime field, public relations as well. So there are different areas that we are looking for talent in to really fit into the organization and help us to move forward.
The live shows for Season 5 of KTV The Remix commence this Tuesday at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. And you don't want to miss it. Last week we brought you the auditions, and many have already chosen their favorite performer. But who will survive the final cut and make it to the stage as one of the 12 hopefuls on the live show? You can find out by joining us at the Bliss as the Lucky 12 display their vocal talent in individual performances and duets. To remind you of the amazing talents fielded this year, here's a highlight of some of the auditions.
You're so cool. I've got to know if I'm crazy. My love is yours if you will. Time that you love me. In and out. You're a shooting star, I see. Around we go. Que por ti yo sentí. Buscar in every ocean. Took more than that. Make you love me. My love. You know exactly who you could be. I wanna taste. You're crazy now. Don't tell me that. Sky, yeah, you watch the lightning around and around me. Yeah. I want you to stay. I changed you. I was smile upon my Jolene, Jolene. Never been a
Tickets for the show are available at our studios on Coney Drive or at 88 Shopping Center for only $5 for adults and $3 for children under 14. Show starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. It will be streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.